I think I misunderestimated two things at the beginning of this. So, number one, despite, as you alluded to, spending around 2 decades being passionate about this topic, a few of those years studying it with depth, spending time in Gaza, spending some time in the West Bank too, I underestimated the appetite for brutality on the side of Israel. I underestimated the extents that it would go to pursue its unrealistic ambitions with the Palestinians in Gaza specifically. But I also underestimated the extent to which Britain and the United States are militarily integrated with Israel, and that, you know, we're also talking about Germany, we're talking about Canada too, but the extent to which they are willing to carry water for Israel's genocidal ambitions with the Palestinian people has really surprised me. Actually, it's been far further than I would have thought it would be. This is worse than the Nakba in terms of human displacement, in terms of the killing, and ultimately Israel has built up its forces over these years. It's almost as if the Nakba and the 75 years of occupation were a precursor to this. And what's scary is that this seems like a phase from 2 or 3 phases to come from the Zionist project. So in order for Zionism to realize its aim in Palestine, you are talking about the mass displacement of the people of Gaza. You're also talking about the mass displacement of the people of the West Bank. And unfortunately, you are seeing moves towards the destruction of Al-Aqsa, the third holiest site in the Muslim religion. That's not a conspiracy theory. That is the Ministry of Culture in Israel and the Ministry of Education funding organizations with the stated objective of replacing the Al-Aqsa compound with a temple that they understand to have existed over 2,000 years ago. That's where we are. That's what the stakes are now. And what we're also talking about is war with Lebanon, as a recent report has shown that the US intelligence estimates are that war and an attempted Israeli invasion of Lebanon will take place before summer. Now, that's going to be a very different war, and it will require much more naked US involvement. I believe that Israel will struggle so much with Hezbollah that the US will have to become directly, openly involved, not in the sending of special forces, not in the logistics, not in the intelligence, not in the targeting help that they've given with Gaza. You know, one of the amazing things about Aaron Bushnell is this claim of one of his friends that Aaron had access to information which was making more clear the involvement of US special forces on the ground in Gaza. But the war with Lebanon will be worse than this.
All great points. And you know, it's not just you saying this. Even the former prime minister of Israel, Ehud Olmert, said in Haaretz that Netanyahu is a messianic figure, a far-right messianic figure. He used the term, Olmert used the term ethnic cleansing. He also said that Netanyahu and his gang are looking for all-out regional war.
He also said the idea of the emptying out of the West Bank too. You know, this is really Yusuf al-Kabir, an Iraqi Jewish lawyer in Baghdad in the 30s. He referred to Zionism as a form of militant archaeology. And essentially, that's what we're facing here. We are talking about the humoring of quite an insane notion. And that insane notion being that I am back projecting myself, I'm throwing myself back into history and using that to justify me dispossessing you. So I live in London. Londinium was founded as a Roman military base. Would that give present day Italians the right to come to my home and take my home? And unfortunately, this is the crux of the issue, that notion is being heavily supported by the most powerful governments in the world.